What is up, you guys? It's Agila Babe. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, baby, I am bringing you this crochet jacket with pockets and a zipper. Yes, a zipper. No sewing machine needed. This video was made to be partnered with this extremely detailed written pattern, over 25 pages, pictorials, and more. This is for sizes extra small to 3XL. In the pattern, I'll show exactly the finished measurements for the garment so you can see what size works best for you and customize for that perfect fit. You know I got you covered. Just check the description below for that link and let's get started. For this tutorial, we will be working with 2 strands of yarn, holding it together the whole time, and a weight for a yarn. Check all the materials here and of course listed in the pattern. Okay, so I have my 2 strands of yarn holding together the weight for, have my 9mm hook, and now for this tutorial I will be making a small, so if you hear me say a number, it will be for a small, and I will list the other sides on the screen, but of course you can follow along in the written pattern. So go ahead. For this size small, I'm chaining 51. Okay, so after you did the amount of chains for your size, we're going to be working in the back loops of the chain, just for that, you know, clean edge. And go ahead and place 1/2 double crochet, working in the second chain from the hook, 1/2 double crochet in the next 40 stitches. So you're skipping that first chain, working in the second chain from the hook, and follow a screen. Follow on the screen for your size, or just follow the written pattern. So for my size small, it's 40 half double crochets. And then for the medium, it will be 44, so on and so forth. You know I got you covered on the screen. Okay, so I finished my 40 half double crochets. Now, for whatever size you have, you should have 10 chains left. So for the remainder of the 10 chains, we're going to yarn over and slip stitch. So it's just yarn over through that back loop of the chain, pull through, and pull through the 2 loops. Yarn over through the back bump, the back loop of the chain, pull through, and just pull through both loops. So we're going to do that for the rest of the chain. And this is what's going to create our ribbing border without it doing the border separately, just all within the panel. So boom, boom. So that is the end of row 1. Now starting row 2 is chain 1, turn your work, and working in the back loops only for the next 10 stitches, we're going to yarn over and slip stitch. Like I said, this creates the ribbing. The chain 1 do not count as a stitch. So working in 10 stitches, that's 1. So it creates this really pretty ribbon. So now you're just going to place 1/2 double crochet in the remaining stitches and chain 1 at the end. Okay, so now working row 3, we're just going to place 1/2 double crochet in each stitch until the last 10 stitches, and that's when we work our yarn over slip stitch into the back loop. I'll meet you back when I have 10 stitches left. So just 1/2 double crochet all the way till you have your 10 stitches left. Okay, so I have my 10 stitches left, and we're going to yarn over, going into that back loop, pull through, and slip stitch. So you're going to do that for the remaining of the 10 stitches. What you could also do is put a stitch marker in that first yarn over slip stitch so you know for each row. So don't forget to go into that last stitch. So I always like to kind of go back and count. I could just easily tell the slip stitch and the half double crochet. So I have my 10. I'm going to chain 1, turn our work. And now we're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until the rows that's on the screen for your size. So I'm just going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until I get to row 13. So I'm going to just repeat those 2 rows. I'll put everything on the screen for you until you get to your row for your size. So I'll be back when I'm up to row 13. Okay, so I finished my row 13, which you should end up at the end with the 10 yarn over slip stitches. So for the next row, which will be our pocket row, you chain 1, turn your work, and now this will be row 14 for me with the size small, and I'll list on the screen what row we're working on now. So now we're going to yarn over slip stitch in the next 10 stitches. Now half double crochet in the next 4 stitches, and this is for all sizes. And now we're going to chain 12 and skip 12. So chain your 12. And skip 12. And then after that skipped 12th stitch, just place 1/2 double crochet in the remaining of the stitches. Now chain 1, turn your work, okay, so after that row, now you're going to place 1/2 double crochet in each stitch, and I'll put on the screen how many half double crochets you should have. So for my size small, I'll be going and placing 1/2 double crochet in the next 24 stitches, and just look on the screen for your size. Okay, so I just finished my 23rd stitch out of the 24 I need to do. And this looked like it's part of the chain, but that's actually part of the half double crochet. So that would be my 24. And now we're going to half double crochet in the back loops of that chain for a total of 12 half double crochets. And place 1/2 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. and yarn over slip stitch in the last 10 stitches in the back loop only. Chain 1 and turn. And now we're just going to repeat rows 2 and 3 that we did over here by doing our yarn over slip stitch in the back loop for the 10 stitches, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet back, and then 10. And we're going to repeat that 3 more times, and I'll put everything on the screen for you for your size. Okay, so for my size small, for my rows 16, 17, and 18, I will be repeating rows 2 and 3, and then 2 again. We will all end on a row 2 repeat. So I'll be back when I'm done with my 3 rows. Okay, so your last row should have ended with a half double crochet, and me working a small, I just finished completing my rows 16, 17, and 18. So now we're gonna chain up 1, turn our work, and I'm gonna list on the screen for how many single crochets to do for your size. But for my size small, I'm going to place 1 single crochet in the next 20 stitches. So I completed my 20, and now I'm going to place 1 half double crochet in the next 20 stitches, and just look on the screen for your size. And now I'm going to yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only for the remaining 10 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work, and then yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only in those 10 stitches. And place 1 half double crochet in the next 20 stitches, and just follow what's on the screen for your size on how many stitches to place. So after you finish that row, just chain up 1 and cut a long tail. You just want to leave a long tail to seam the sides. And pull through. So this is how it looks. And now we're going to make 2 of these. And then after you finish your second one, make sure to come back so we can add the invisible pocket. Okay, so I finished my 2 panels, and now I turned them on the wrong side. So this is the wrong side of the left panel and the wrong side for the right panel. So now we're gonna work on our pockets, and I'm gonna start with the wrong side of the left panel. So make sure your panel is faced this way. So this is how it looks. Pocket opening, and I'm gonna just put the right side away. We're gonna turn our panel this way. So it should look like this. Just like this. Remember, this is the wrong side of the left panel, and we're going to work our pocket. So now we're just going to attach our yarn to over from the opening. So right here is where we'll be attaching our yarn. Right here. Okay, so make a slip knot, still working with 2 strands. Go ahead and attach the yarn, pull through, and now we're just going to pull the yarn through and pull. So now we're going to work in each of those chains where we worked on the back bumps, the back loops of that chain. We're going to go in with a half double crochet. So that's 1, 2, it might be a little tricky, but that's only this row. 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're gonna go into this half double crochet right here. So that's our 12 from the chain. We're gonna go right into this corner. 13. I'm gonna go right in under this stitch with a half double crochet. There we go. Now we chain 1, turn our work, and we're gonna place 1 half double crochet in each stitch, including that chain 1 that we started with. Only for this row, this chain is counting as a stitch. And then I'm going into that chain. So it should look like this. This is the opening, and the pocket will go this direction for the wrong side of the left panel. This is how it'll look on the other side. So for the remaining of the pocket, chain 1, turn your work, and place a half double crochet in each stitch. So it's a total of 15 stitches. So I'm going to finish my pocket, and when I'm done with my total amount of 11 rows, I'll be back. Okay, so I finished my total of 11 rows. So after that last row, you just chain 1, cut your yarn, and go ahead and weave that in before we start our seaming. Seam around the pocket. Now the difference with this is we're going to pick up the stitches and the loops that's closest to us, not all the way through the garment. So let me show you. I'm going to turn. I will work this way, upside down. I'm going to attach my yarn, attach the yarn just right in the corner. Let me show you. Attaching my yarn right in the corner, and I'm gonna work my way around this way, ending right here. Just tying a knot. Okay, so when I say the stitches closest to me, you see these loops here and not all the way like whip stitching through each loop. Just any loop that's closest to you. So I'm gonna go through the pocket and through these loops. So just find any stitch, it don't have to be perfect. Just try to keep the side of the pocket straight and grow through the stitches closest to you. It's real simple once you get the hang of it. So I'm just do this all the way around. Don't forget to just pick up the stitches closest to you and not through to the other side. That's kind of what makes the invisible pocket situation. So I'll be back when I'm done. And I'm back over here. Okay, so this is how it looks. So good. And now we're just gonna seam these little pieces in after you tied off. So now working on that right panel, this is the wrong side of the right panel with the pocket direction going this way. You're gonna follow the same exact steps. So you turn your work, attach that yarn to the second stitch over, work along that chain, attach the yarn with a slip stitch, and follow the same exact steps that we did on the last panel. Okay, so now for the back panel, you know how I put some moisturization going on. So it's real simple, no increases, no decreases. It's a simple rectangle. So I'm making that size small, and I'm going to chain 51. Now working in the back loops of the chain, of course, I always feel like I give that clean edge. Working in that second chain from the hook, I'm going to place 1/2 double crochet in the next 40 stitches. So that will leave me with 10 stitches left for that ribbon. Ooh. So just follow along on the screen for your size. Okay, so I have my 40 half double crochets and I have 10 stitches left. And like we was doing before, yarn over, slip stitch in the remaining 10 stitches. 10 chains actually. So you yarn over, slip stitch in the back loop in the next 10 stitches. So this is that bottom border. So that's 2, this is 2, 3, and then you half double crochet in the remaining half double crochet. So you simply repeat that row. And so for row 3, you're just gonna half double crochet in each stitch into the last 10 stitches and then yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only for the remainder of those 10 stitches, just how we did in the front panels. So you're just going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until your row for your size. So I'm doing a size small, so I'm just repeating rows 2 and 3 until I get to row 36. Super simple rectangle, just how we did in the front panel. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this back panel and be right back. So after you finish your back panel, you're going to go ahead and flip your panels on the wrong side and just seam the sides up. Real simple. Just make sure you're working with the panels on the wrong side. Okay, so this is how it looks after seaming the panels to the back panel. Now you're just gonna fold, and it's on the right side now. And what we're gonna do is match up the corners so we can seam the shoulders. Now we're not seaming all the way through. We are leaving 4 inches open. So you're gonna measure from the corner to 4 inches opposite of the armhole. So you should look just like this with that opening for our ribbed collar. Okay, so I finished the seaming of the shoulders. What's left before we hit the zipper, we're just gonna do the collar that fits around the neckline. So just move that to the side for now. Boop. Take your yarn. Okay, so working the collar, real simple. It's just the border that we did. So you're gonna make a slip knot and chain 17. So we have our 17, and working in the second chain from the hook in the back loops, just yarn over slip stitch in each chain. Okay, so I have my total of 16 stitches because we worked in the second chain from the hook. So you just chain 1, and just like how we did the border, yarn over, slip stitch in the back loop only. And we're just gonna repeat this row until our collar can measure around the neck opening. So I'm going to finish the collar section, and you just repeat the amount of rows, and then you put it up to the neckline of your garment and make sure it fits around. So I'm going to finish this neckline and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so I have my finished collar, and now I already cut my yarn. Just gonna pull through, leaving a tail to seam. So this is what I mean when you want it to fit around the neckline. You just want to match up your collar one end to the other end, and you'll just seam, whip stitch, whatever works for you, around the neckline. So you just want to make sure, and you could always put stitch markers to hold your place. That's how you want to match up your collar. Okay, so I'm so happy I found my stitch markers. I thought they went for a walk, but they are here. So you just want to attach with stitch markers just so you don't stretch too much or anything like that. I think it's great just to hold it in place. And now you just simply work your seaming technique, whether you're doing a mattress stitch, whip stitch. I'm just gonna go ahead and whip stitch the collar to the neckline. I always cut my tail way too long. Like, girl, you do not need that much. So I'm gonna just go ahead and seam that. wrong side of the garment. Okay, so I'm at the end, and you just want to make sure you secure that with just a little knot. And weave this in. Okay, so this is how it looks. Let's go ahead and turn it on the right side. Boom, boom, boom. How cute! Look. Oh, right? Okay, all right. I'm getting hyped, guys. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. So, you know what time it is, right? Focus, camera, focus. Get in focus, sweetie. It's zipper time. So let me show you how to put on a zipper. No sewing machine needed. So let me go grab a zipper. Okay, so I have my zipper. It's a 30-inch zipper. I'm just gonna put that to the side. Now, I want you to grab 2 stitch markers. Boom, boom. And you're gonna put it in the 8th stitch, starting from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're gonna do that on both sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this is where we want our zipper to stop, because it's gonna go down like this, if you get what I'm saying. So now, okay, so for this project, you want a separating zipper. Now to figure out how long you need your zipper, you're gonna measure from the stitch marker, which I'll show a little bit later on. So you just measure where you want it to end and start. Some people wouldn't want the zipper to go all the way down, maybe just in the middle, but you just measure where you want your zipper to go, and that's how you can figure out what zipper you need to go purchase at the zipper store or whatever the case may be. I mentioned the store that I went to, or you could just order online, but a separating zipper is what you need for this, unless you want it to be a pullover situation. So all I'm doing right now is just measuring how long I want the zipper. This zipper is actually 30 inches, and I end up cutting it later on, but it just worked for the meantime, and I'll show you everything you need to do. To figure out how long you need your zipper, you just measure from the stitch marker down, and that's when you could either go to the store. I'm in New York, so I went to Pacific Trimmings, and they cut zippers for you. And you could get the exact length you need for your zipper. Okay, to measure for your zipper, you just measure down from the stitch marker all the way down to the bottom of the border. And mine is 30 inches. And this is going to vary from people to people, depending if you're blocking, depending how much drape your garment might actually have due to your yarn. So you just want to measure and order that zipper, or go to the store and get that zipper cut. So I picked this brown color, and I don't know, this is what we're using. All right, so boom, boom. Now starting at the bottom with the zipper, I'm going to leave it closed. I just feel more comfortable with a sturdy base like this. I'm going to measure my stitch, and I see my stitch is about 1/2 inch, and then I'm gonna put 1/2 inch on the zipper, and then I'm going to just take my white pencil and make a mark. And now you don't want to be too close to the zipper, because it can easily snag your stitches. So this is 1 stitch right here. That's 1 stitch, and then I'll measure 1/2 inch again. And that's another stitch. And you can match up and make sure you have the same amount of stitches on your zipper as you have on your garment. Okay, so what you're gonna do is continue making those marks. I just continue making my little less than a half an inch marks, and I made 5 marks so far. So all I'm doing is checking to see that those 5 marks match up with 5 stitches on my border, so I know I'm on the right path. So continue making those marks down your whole entire zipper. Now, if you're confident, you could just put the next dot for the other side instead of measuring right across. Just eyeball it, or you could just take the straight edge of your ruler and just place the second mark so you're not going through the whole zipper once again. And that's really all it is to it for setting up our zipper until we get to threading and all of that. Please make sure you're working on the right side of your zipper. So I'm just going to continue and making sure my stitches line up every couple of dots and make sure everything is on track. Okay, so I finished with my dots, and as you can see, I was checking when it comes to matching up my stitches, so I did some adjusting. So that's why it's good to constantly check to make sure everything is matching up. I need to have a total of 59 slots, and I actually have 62. So what I can do is just cut the zipper, meaning just bring it down, remove the clasp and some of the whatever these pieces is called, or I could just leave it as is, or I could space out some of the stitches. So that's something else you can do as well. So I'm going to leave it as is. And now when it comes to attaching the actual zipper to the piece, you want to, for the betterment of how it looks, you want to get some yarn that matches your zipper. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to use the same yarn as this jacket, and we're going to start at the bottom. So you want a large eye sewing needle that you can fit yarn through. Okay, so if you have a hard part at the end of your zipper, I'm just going to take my scissors and put a hole through, and please be very careful because the needle might not go through that. And I just want to make a hole right on the other side, being very careful. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I want to be very careful. Just turn it and make a little space so it'll be easier for us to get the needle through. Okay, so I'm back. I already did one side of the zipper. It is super simple. So you want to take a piece of string yarn. Actually, I'm doing this lighter color, the same color, so you can see on the screen what I'm doing. But you will probably want a piece of yarn that matches your zipper. I'm just choosing this color so it's easy for y'all on the screen, so y'all not like, oh my god, I can't see, girl, what you doing? So I'm just choosing this lighter color. So once you have your yarn, you want to measure about like three times the length of your zipper and cut, and just place the yarn through the wide eye sewing needle, or whatever needle you have that could fit the yarn. So starting at the very end right here, you want to go from the back and pull up towards you. Make sure you always aim away from your face. That one is going to be a little bit harder because of that plastic that's right there. And you want to pull leaving about a 4 to 5 inch tail. Just like that. Next, you're going to go right into where we placed our first dot. and pull. Now you want to make sure you do not pull too tight because your zipper will pucker up. Now we're going to turn our zipper to the back and we're going to go real close to where we pulled through at. So just slightly over. Just like that, and we're going to pull. And I'm going to show you how that looks in the back. So look just like that, making like a little dot so we can get over to the next stitch. So going right where the next dot is, pull down. Oh, New York is so loud. It's so hot in here. They got the radiator on 1,000 degrees. Okay. Let me get in focus. Just like that. And we're simply going to repeat. So once you pull through that second dot, go back on. This is the back of the zipper. Pull right next to where we went through last time. Pull through. That's the back, and this is the front. So let's do it one more time. Going into the next dot, pulling through. Making sure to not pull too tight on the back of the zipper. We're going real close to where we just went through. And pulling through. So there you have it, real simple. So I'm gonna continue this step all the way till I get to around the last 2 dots, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is how it looks. I'm down to the end. Now when you get to the end, see I just have my last dot right there. I'm going to pull through. And now I'm going to loop back over and go through the same hole. Now secured it. I'm just cut the tail. And we are done with our zipper. Now let's go put it on. Put your jacket on the right side. Boom, boom, like that. Pockets facing you. So now we're gonna attach our zipper. Now you can separate it, but I like keeping my zipper together because I just feel like I have more control situation. You know, it's not flippity floppity whoop. And now we're gonna attach our little tail that we left to the very, very edge of our jacket. Let me see if I can zoom in. Boom, all right. So we're gonna attach this little tail that we left at the end with the zipper on the right side. So make sure your zipper is on the right side, okay? Boom, we're gonna go right in the corner. It's the very, very, very edge. That's kind of like not a stitch. We want to go right in there. And we are using a 7mm hook. And we're gonna pull our tail through and bring up a loop. Now we're gonna take that end of the tail and just pull through. You could do this with a tapestry needle as well. And just pull that through. Tight. Okay. Okay, so I'm starting with the right side of our jacket. We're gonna make a slip knot. We're gonna attach our yarn to our first stitch right here. So boom, boom. We're gonna just attach, pull through, chain up one and just pull to secure. And now we're gonna start working in our first loop on our zipper. So we have our yarn attached. Now we're gonna go into that first stitch, the same stitch we attach our yarn with. We're gonna go under that stitch, under the first loop. We're gonna pull through the yarn, through all the loops, yarn over and pull through two. So let's do that again. Through the stitch, boom. Through the loop on the zipper, boom. Yarn over, pull through the loop and pull through the stitch. You have two loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through two. Let's do that again. Through the stitch and through the loop on the zipper, pull the yarn through the loop on the zipper, through the stitch on the jacket, yarn over and through two, and we're going to continue to do that all the way down. And this is how it looks, and I'll be back when I'm done. So I'm just at the collar part, and when you get to that seam, just consider the seam a stitch. So you don't want to skip it or anything like that. Just go through the seam, any opening, and right through the loop on the zipper. Pull through, and there you go. So now you want to just flip that collar so you can see the stitches better. And just continue to work through the collar just like how we did the body of the jacket. And like I said, I decided to not cut my zippers so it goes up a little bit past, but you could of course do the zipper to however far up or not go to the collar or whatever you choose. Okay, so I'm at that last loop. Just gonna pull through, and with that little tail left, I'm just gonna grab it with my yarn and just single crochet until you reach the end and weave that in. And there you have one side done. So you're gonna repeat the exact same steps on the other side. At this point you can unzip it, but it's just easier for me to work with it together, and it looks so good. So go ahead and do the other side, weave in the ends, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so this is how it looked. I actually decided to cut that little extra fabric because it just wasn't looking cute when I folded it down. So yeah, I'll probably do that in another video. If you want to cut your zipper, you just simply cut where you want to cut and take the stoppers off and replace it, and that's just about it. So that's what I did, and this is how it looked. So cute. Now, last but not least, we have to add the sleeves. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the sleeves. So this is for all sizes. So you make a slip knot. We're gonna go ahead and chain 9. Come on, girl, get it together, girl. Get it together, girl. Alright, so boom. We have our 9. And this is the same thing we did for the border of the bottom of the jacket. So now we're gonna work, of course, in the back loops of the chain. Yarn over, do the stitch, pull through, and pull through all the loops. Yarn over, do the stitch, and pull through all the loops. So we're gonna do that in each stitch. By the end, you should have a total of 8 stitches. So I have my 8, and now we're gonna chain 1, turn our work, working in that back loop only, just like before. Yarn over, do the stitch, and pull through. Boom, boom. So there we go. So like I said before, I'm making a size small, so I'm going to continue until I have a total of 14 rows, and just follow along for your size. Extra small, 12 rows, small, medium, 14 rows, so on and so forth. So I'll be back when I'm done with my 14 rows. Okay, so I finished my 14 rows, and now for all sizes, just chain 1 and place 1/2 double crochet in each row. So you should have the same amount of stitches that you have rows. I'm a size small, so I'm gonna have 14 half double crochets. And just place 1 in each row. So this is 2 rows right here, 1, 2. So you just want to find the space. And just continue till you get to the end. Okay, so I finished that row. Chain 1. Okay, so you're gonna place 1/2 double crochet in that first stitch and 2 half double crochets in the next, and this is for all sizes. So you just repeat that pattern: 1/2 double crochet, 2 half double crochets, and repeat that all the way down to the end. Now for row 3, it really doesn't matter what stitch you end with for any size. So for row 3, just chain 1, place 1/2 double crochet in each stitch. Now row 4, just chain 1, turn your work, and we're going to repeat that row 2, which is 1/2 double crochet and 2 in the next. And just repeat that all the way to the last stitch. After that row, moving on to row 5, chain 1, turn your work, and place 1/2 double crochet in each stitch. And now you can see it's increasing. So moving on to row 6, chain 1, turn, and place 1/2 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and then you do your 1/2 double crochet increase, and that's just 2 1/2 double crochets in the same stitch. So one more time, 1/2 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 1/2 double crochets in the next. And just repeat until you get to the end. Okay, so boom, I finished my row 6, and now for row 7 until 22, 24, for whatever size you're doing. So extra small is going up to row 22, small, row 24, and you see everything laid out in the pattern. And you're just going to place 1/2 double crochet in each stitch, chain 1, turn, and repeat that row until your row for your size. And that's it for the sleeve. When it comes to increases, 1/2 double crochet in each stitch till you get the amount of rows that you need for your size. So for my size small, I'm going to row 24. So I'll be back when I'm done with my total of 24 rows for my sleeve. Okay, so I finished my 24 rows, my total of 24 rows. So after your last stitch, and this is for all sizes, just chain up 1, cut your yarn, and pull through. Now you're just going to fold and seam your sleeve. So you could either leave a long tail and seam this way, but I like to start at the bottom. So I'll be attaching my yarn and just seaming up. Okay, so I finished seaming, and this leaves a nice long tail to seam the shoulder to the jacket. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and now go make a second one, and I'll be back when I'm done with my second one so we can attach it to the jacket and try it out. Okay, so now I have my jacket, and I just left it closed because it looks so good. Now we're just gonna open it up if you didn't close it. Boom, boom. We're gonna take our sleeve and leaving it on the wrong side, we're gonna put the sleeve in the armhole. You wanna put the seam, oh, let me see if I can zoom out. You wanna put the seam of the sleeve towards the bottom of the armhole. And just match it up just like that. So this is the bottom border of the jacket. Here's the side seam, and we're just matching that up. It really doesn't matter, but to me, just, you know, you want to hide the seams or whatever. You want to open that up and just take some stitch markers. To hold it in place. So yeah, you just want to do it just like this to hold it in place. And just seam your armhole all the way around. So once you get back to that starting seam, you just want to really make sure you tie it off and weave in your ends. So now you want to go ahead and repeat the same exact steps for the other armhole. Same exact steps. Keep it on the wrong side, put it through the armhole, put your stitch markers, seam it up, boom, bap, boom. I'm gonna go do this and I'll be back. Okay, so once you're done working on both sleeves, just go ahead and pull the sleeves out. You can zip it out. Just weave in any last things you need, and there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you go to signup.ladrialavay.com and get hit with all the exclusive discount codes, patterns, and more. Your girl got you covered at signup.ladrialavay.com. And don't forget, follow me on the gram at ladrialavay. Tag me in all your beautiful creations, and I'll see you in my next video. Hey, see you in my next video. Y'all play too much. We gotta go. We gotta go to the next video.